Okay, my name is Daniel Grajeda. I'm going to be performing my first ever podcast. Okay, just get right to it. For this week's assignment, my topic is going to be the police practices and police community relations. I picked two topics from the peer-reviewed references in the library. My first topic is from the Canadian Ethics Studies of Police Community Relations, their Chinese attitudes toward police in Toronto, Canada. So just to keep this race-oriented, how our class is with ethnicity, the Chinese do not like their police officers. Clearly, in this paper. The paper was written by Henry Chow with the Canadian Ethics Studies in 2002. So what the police department did was they basically sent out in the mail a survey with various questions to about 1,000 Chinese citizens. And it was a random selection. The selection actually had about 75,000 people, and they only chose 1,000. There wasn't too many mailings mailed back to them, so they actually did phone calls to the people. And the results were kind of staggering. Just to give a little bit of background, there was about 56% were male, 43% were female in the study. The age range was about 18 to 84. Let's see here. Now, the type of questions, the topics, were under police powers of search, arrest, and questioning, police use of force, police treatment of visual minorities, police and police services. And the survey was given on a 1 to 5 scale. So 1 being the worst, where they don't agree, and 5 being they strongly agree. And the results were really staggering. I mean, they from the police powers of search, arrest, and questioning, to anything from the police use of force. The Chinese, I guess they were being mistreated, because they definitely in their survey was very, very low. They were definitely not approved in this Toronto subdivision or community. The next article I read was the police community relations in a majority black city. This was written by Ronald Wetzer and Stephen Touch out of George Washington University in Washington, D.C. So what they did here was the majority of the studies, as far as the police being accepted in the community, were majority of a all-white police department. So in a all-white community. Well, this study represents a majority black police department with a majority black city. So this was actually pretty good. Now, these studies kind of vary because in this instance, the police department was favored in this study, but in other cultures, like a Hispanic neighborhood with an all-Hispanic police department, the police wasn't, that, just because you're the same race doesn't mean you're going to be favored, basically. But in this instance, it actually did favor them. it talks about the different type of community relations that they did, certain things so they can change up their policies, change how they do their policing in order to gain the respect of the community. And then in the local news, in New Haven, Connecticut, it's actually New Haven Police Department, they started a new task force to improve their community relations. And their mayor actually said that is quoted, New Haven has got to be the place that sees everybody and hears everybody. So she's really making strides to improve the community and improve her policing and her police department through the results through the community relations. So what they're going to be focusing on is responsibilities will be assets of evaluating community policing and look at policies and procedures and police department protocol, including police use of force. So this is going to change, the results from this is going to really change the way they do their day-to-day. So this is going to be very good. They will also address photography and videotaping of policing, including guidelines of police as well as residents. The group will also make recommendations to improve community policing. The recommendations will go to the mayor so they can make those changes. So this is just one example right here in the media where one police department is going out to their community and just trying to make a good relationship with their city residents and taking those results and just applying it so they can be better police officers, just a better agency. And obviously they want to be trusted by the community. So, you know, if your community trusts you, then you can do more things with the community. You can maybe have a safer community versus a community that, you know, does not trust the police department. And that's a very scary environment to be in. So in my opinion, I gotta make my own opinion here. My opinion, based off of what I've read, that race really doesn't play a factor in your, if your police department is going to be successful. In Washington, D.C., this police department found a way for it to work, but I guarantee it was through their community relations that found ways to be successful in their community versus the study that I read about in Canada with the Chinese. Obviously, they were maybe a small majority, and they were being mistreated. So I think this can go either way. I think the police department has to figure out their community and go out and do their things in their community, to figure out the weaknesses so they can make them attack those weaknesses and make them better. And I think that's about it. I cited my references, and yeah, I think that's about it.